Thank you. Judge Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for what you do for our sailors and our Marines. You have a big-time job. Admiral Kilby, you and others have acknowledged that relying on expensive missile systems to counter low-cost threats like drones is unsustainable. What is the Navy's plan to rapidly field directed energy systems like the Maritized Enduring High-Level Laser for shipboard use, and how are you incorporating lessons from the Army's development to reduce costs and per engagement and preserve the missile piles for higher and more important threats?
Sure, I don't restrict that only to directed energy, but that's certainly an area we're interested in. We have a Helios installed on the Preble, which is located in Japan. We had some problems with testing, but now we're up to 1/3 of the power, and we're going to continue to test that weapon system to make sure it works. You know, I've got buyer's remorse. When I worked with General Smith in our last life, I was the N9, which is the person procuring systems. And I was focused on a laser between 500 kilowatts and 1 megawatt because that's what it takes to knock down an anti-ship cruise missile. I wish I had been a little bit more thoughtful and taken a lesser power weapon that would have been capable against UASs. In the meantime, we're going to pursue that testing on the Helios system, but we're strapping on a lot of systems on the Ford Strike Group, which is going to deploy next from the East Coast, like a Coyote missile system, which is a much cheaper version of a munition to send at a counter UAS threat, or a high velocity projectile from the 5-inch gun. That's a very more inexpensive way to get at it, or Hellbow longbow missile, which is a more inexpensive way to get at that. So we're going to put those on that system. They're not fully integrated with the combat system, but I think they'll be very effective, and we'll test them out at sea, and then we'll procure them at scale if we need to.
That's good to hear. Secretary Phelan, workforce development to revitalize maritime industrial base is crucial in speed to speed up shipbuilding and improve readiness. Are there currently or planned partnerships between Department of the Navy and Texas-based community colleges, trade schools, or universities to grow the near generation skilled shipbuilding and maintenance workforce?
As a product of a Texas college, I wish I knew the answer to that, but I'm going to let Admiral Kilby answer that question. We are doing a lot of programs as it relates to shipbuilding and at a lot of different schools. I do believe we do have them in Galveston, I think.
Yeah, we've got to expand this, sir. So one of the things the Secretary referred to was 2 weeks ago I went to Danville, Virginia, where we have an accelerated training and defense manufacturing center. And that's an exciting proposition for me. We used SIB money to invest in the Navy in Danville, Virginia. I watched five disciplines being trained, 8 hours, three sections a day, so 24/7, welders, non-destructive testers, QAs, additive manufacturing, and a thing called CNC. They had 16 CNC machines. At Norfolk Naval Shipyard, I've got 2. This part was produced in Danville, Virginia. It is a part required to fix a helo hanger door. When we went to go look at how to make that part, or if it was available in the stock system, it was not. It would take 40 weeks to make this part through traditional means. Danville did it in 19 days. And if I did it tomorrow, it would be 5 days, because I don't have to find the IP and get it run in the system and do a fit up. So to me, that is the promise, and we need to do that all over our country. Rep Captor, we talked about how this could happen in Ohio. That system is going to produce 900 people a year that at a 90% placement rate that go into the defense industrial base. That is the way to buy back our system so it has more tradesmen in it than it has today. We used to have 33% of our workforce was in that category. Now it's 11. My son's going to welding school at Northern Virginia Community College. I hope he goes to Danville, Virginia to get his cert.
I'm very much looking to make the trades work and have been for now about 10 years, and invested quite a bit of money in trades in many of our states, because I've seen this coming and hoping that when we get the trades going, it'll work fine. And 3D printing is a real solution. I just talked to a guy last night who's working, he was at an event I was at in Austin, where he told me his business was 3D printing for the Navy.
Thank the
And I
gentleman.
was glad to hear that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,